Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
Fade in.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
What's the matter? Take yourself a great big bite of meat. Taste the pleasure of the highest quality pork around.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
There is nobody of merit there. It's for their new fan base. That's who D23 is for. Everybody who went there knowing they sniff crotch and suck shit.
Oh, these two girls when you kiss, they're gonna be hot. Oh, yo, you know Elizabeth Hurley's gonna get butt naked in this.
People are not gonna enjoy that. They recast him. He's like 16 now, and he's got painted fingernails. And he's like, oh my god, let's cast a spell.
Great Scott! You gotta watch it. You gotta hit the like button.
We've got to get it up for him, guys. Come on, everyone who's watching this video needs to
that.
go over
Don't say it like that.
And share the video. We gotta keep going.
Don't they have to get it up for me? Don't say it like that. God damn it! I'm still jerking off in front of my console.
Impressive. Most impressive.
But I also hate you a little because you go and make it your business to try to make fun or try to get in. Yes, exactly. Half-breed putting her crotch in my face.
Who is that? I don't know that person anymore. I don't have to deal with them at all anymore. They're I don't even think about.
That's your best friend, your future boyfriend.
Oh God, why would you do that to me?
God,
I'd rather have Dermy as my boyfriend than that little.
Oh God.
I've been told by lore people for this stuff for House of the Dragon for the books. Yeah, Rhaenyra, she was into dining at the Clam Slam. She was into that.
Clam Slam.
She slammed clams. She dined at the oyster bar. She was all into that.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Who writes someone that's a genius and that everybody is over there sucking her toes, and then you got to come over here and then say something ridiculous like, hey, victimize me, daddy.
I will twerk on her on the bed. I ain't going to do it in the middle of the dance floor.
That's what I'm... Yeah, whatever.
That's all right.
Why? My brain didn't need that. I'd already seen too many pictures of Shooty today.
What?
Well, there's an image in my mind.
I'm going to make the chattest possible, the most masculine, big deed, bulge out to the world, shoulders, muscles, not bulge out to the world. You know what I mean, though? He's going to be out there. He's going to go out to Thetis, and he's going to slay as much puss as possible.
Hey, my name is a pimp named Drees, and I believe I've misplaced some merchandise at this residence. Lord Jesus and the shepherds, where is Daddy's money? I will not hesitate for one solitary second to put hands on somebody if I don't have my monies.
But we're told that we don't like any of this because we're misogynists. We just don't like this stuff because we're women. And the only reason we're unhappy about the Rey movie coming out, because, guys, did you hear the Rey movie was canceled and uncanceled? Did you hear that?
Dre, you heard that too, right?
I did hear it.
Wait,
I did hear it.
What did I do?
You said because we're women.
We hate it because we're women.
Okay. I said it. All right. Yeah, see, now Ariel just arrived, and she's going to make sure that I remember that.
We didn't want it to come out like this, but Adam is in fact trans. He's coming out of the closet. Him and Dermy are in a relationship. It's time.
It's still there.
I didn't say that.
Well, you can still have it, but still identify as a woman.
He's a she. He's a she. He's a she.
But we don't want Revan touched. No.
Agreed.
You don't want anything good touched.
No.
Agreed.
Yeah, because Disney Star Wars is a bad touch.
It is a bad touch.
Touches you in the bad place.
It's a bad touch.
Show me on the doll where Disney Star Wars touched you.
I need a bigger doll.
Oh God.
There's no doll left.
I'm gonna tell you if I tell you a story and the end result is gonna be me taking a dump on somebody's forehead, do you care about how we got there?
Don't try to razzle dazzle me.
We want to enjoy what we're looking at. We don't want sores and fat whores. Liar! No.
Let me be as clear as I can. Ain't no colors in Scandinavia.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Yeah, you know what? This freaking existed. It exists. That exists.
You just imagined it.
I guess. Kind of hurts. I think it's physical.
I'm colored. Shut up.
And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality boobs. You want to motorboat quality boobs.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things.
Yes, they are. I have no shame. Welcome, everybody, to a round table where I'm on 4 hours of sleep, so expect the unexpected. I have no control over my subconscious at this point. Things may be said that I will not anticipate, even from myself, but we will soldier on, having a wonderful conversation about some things that happened this week. Things happened. Some things we won't talk about. Some things we will talk about. We'll do our best. Hi, Jed. I got no other transition.
You got none?
I got none.
Well, hi, Adam. Hello.
Hi.
Well, I'm doing great. Excited to be here. And I encourage everyone to go check out both Adam and my channels from last night. We had a great discussion on The Frighteners, and I think people will enjoy it. I very much enjoyed that stream and that movie, and that might go better than this stream will, A, because Adam's on no sleep right now, and B, we had more things to talk about then. So there is a slight possibility we may devolve into a Stargate discussion.
Yeah,
There's
or
a slight possibility.
We will also accept super chats that derail us and send us down rabbit holes of conversations. That is always an opportunity. But in all seriousness, it was a great show last night. Jed's got a good one for next week. He's got a good one for driving next week. We'll wait till the end of the show for that one. But yeah, let's be honest with what's going on in the world right now. There's a very hyper focus on what people want to listen to and talk about. And especially in our section of the internet where we like to primarily talk about pop culture, there's some bleed over and there are some topics that went down that we're not going to talk about here because we focus on more the nerd aspects of stuff around here. We try to, and we don't want to basically step into certain minefields of discussions where we have our own opinions, but guess what? They're our opinions that we don't really express publicly. We're here to talk about nerd shit, not all kinds of stuff. Dragon Lady, how are you this evening?
I'm doing all right. I started watching Paul Dark over the weekend.
Oh! Yes. Are you liking it?
Made him very happy.
Are you liking it?
I'm doing all right with it. Now that we're shopping tomorrow, I'm tempted to get the books. Just out of curiosity.
I would say get the books because while the show is excellent, it does not follow the books completely. I mean, they move away. They leave out certain characters. They leave out certain events. Some characters in the show, die when maybe they didn't actually die in the book. So it's good to read the books. It's always good to read source material.
Yeah, I always do that. If I see a show that's based in the book or a film based in the book, I read the book first and then watch the film and make my judgment.
Poldark is kind of like, I can attribute it to Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson trilogy, because neither are completely faithful, but they're both done with respect and admiration for the source material. So that's how I would describe Poldark. It's in that frame. It's not exact, but it gets most of it right. and it's a lot of fun. Great characters, great stories. All right, so as I said, Dre had something come up. He may or may not be here, but even if he isn't, we can still have him here, sort of.
Look at this half breed.
He's here in spirit.
I mean,
anyway,
what other contributions of his are important besides stuff like that?
Yeah, well, that's the only recordings I have aside from our bullshit from the clip reel. So we're not dealing with half breeds today, though. We're not. Hail and howdy to the chat. We love you guys. We hope you guys are having a good afternoon, and we thank each and every one of you for joining us. For maybe joining us instead of watching football. Thank you. We appreciate that. Hail to the goddess and Algrim the Strong, my mods. One loves me, one likes to torture me, and I accept my lot in life with that. Going on down the list, hail to Ruben X. Hail to you. We don't really have any. We don't have a nickname for anything here. That's all. That has to come from the chat. We can't make it up ourselves. You guys have to generate that.
It's got to be some like meme about Renaissance era, like
something. I don't know.
Look up history.
I mean, I could come up with things, but that's manufactured. The best ones come from the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to that. It's up to you guys. The only thing I can come up with would be a logo, and I still haven't come up with that for myself.
Still using what is that? The 6-blade thing?
The glaive? No, that's just kind of for my the glaive is special, and people do love it, like hardcore nerds when they see, dude, it's the glaive from Krull, and I'm like, yeah. But I do need a logo. It's getting to that point now where it's almost time. Problem is, I have no idea what I want a logo to look like. And
just
then I
dress yourself up in traditional Renaissance costume, with the
that's not
feathers,
even a logo. That's not even a logo.
Yeah, just a picture of you wearing that.
That's just me cosplaying for some weird fantasy you have right now. That's all that is.
Well, it would be digital art of you doing it, yeah.
No.
Or just of a feathered cap. Just get a logo of a feathered cap.
No. Listen, I'm going to start thinking about a logo, and I will, of course, take anybody with artistic talent. I will take your suggestions and your offerings. I will do that. Sometimes the best logos come from, again, the chat. So I'm starting to think about it now because we're getting to a point where I'm going to need it going forward. So going back, continuing down the list. Hail, son of Joxer Huzzah. Hail, Jay Frazier. Howdy, Kale. How are you? And anybody else who is not chatting and just watching, we are, of course, as always, happy to have you here. We appreciate your support. Hit that like button. And let's get started. Okay. As I said, I'm going to be honest. It was a weak week when it comes to the kind of stuff we like to focus on. We got a couple of things. One actual real story that we have touched on repeatedly, the fact that Amazon, and I'm going to say it likely, fired everybody involved from the God of War TV show. It's something. Now there's very little discussion. I am one of the only people that I saw that actually did a video on it. I don't know. I find it strange.
Well, because you're one of the only people who has the crossover of God of War and Wheel of Time, so you know how disastrous his involvement was. So you bring a unique perspective to it that a lot of people in the Fellowship don't have the opportunity to do.
Yeah. I mean, they mentioned it a little bit on FNT, but as soon as Shad brought it up, they started yelling about Twilight again, and then it devolved, and of course. So we will talk about that. Considering myself and Jed are very into the God of War franchise, we can talk about that, and then we'll kind of try to prognosticate what's going to go forward with that. We got a little bit of James Gunn DCU news. We can kind of combine a couple of things. They released the Creature Commandos trailer the other day, which is the beginning. That's supposed to start James Gunn's DCU. We have a trailer. We will watch it. I haven't seen it yet. Has anybody else seen it? I haven't watched it.
I've seen it, yeah.
You've seen it? Okay. I have not. I know one thing because
I'm not impressed with it, especially because it's the start of the DCU. If this were just part of the old DCEU, I wouldn't think twice about it. But yeah, they're putting way too much pressure on this thing, and it's not going to live up to it.
I saw one thing. I saw Clayface. That's all I saw.
And it's just going to be confusing to people who aren't like us. We'll get into it, but there are aspects of it that,
we'll understand it. I mean, that's why I wish Dre was here. He would know the most out of that
Well, I don't even mean about the lore. I just mean about the difference between the DCU and the DCEU.
EU.
Normies are going to be confused by aspects of the trailer because of that. We're on top of things enough that we know that it's DCU versus DCEU, but yeah, it's going to be very confusing to normies.
Yeah, so we're going to go over that, and also the poster they released for Superman Legacy with crypto. So we'll talk about that, and we'll kind of give our feelings on where we are.
New cryptocurrency, like the Dogecoin, just with crypto on it instead.
I'm gonna let you bask in that failed joke.
It wasn't necessarily a failed joke. Dogecoin was a meme. I can see it. Legitimate. I could see it.
And we got a mishmash of other things for you guys, some warm-ups that we're going to get into, kind of random stuff that we've talked about that we're going to poke fun at and this and that. And we might as well just kind of start off with one of those, since I have no other jokes to tell or demeaning stories. I can't for a second talk about this. I will talk about this for 1 second. If you guys missed it last night, there was the big Ballbusters gaming stream. We're doing those on a regular basis now. Last night we did Among Us for nearly 5 hours. I streamed it here. It is unlisted on this channel right now, but you can find the full replay over on Renaissance Art Arcade. And there's my boy Static. Towards the end, Static and I reran the table. We slaughtered everybody, and and thanks to basically a unrequested assist from Professor Savage Dad, we managed to put all the blame on Dermy right away, and it was glorious. Dermy admitted that he almost dropped hard R he was so angry. But the only reason he did it because like 4 of us were also streaming it. So if he had done that, would have destroyed everybody. But he almost nuked the entire stream because what happened was this. Static and I were aggressive out of the gate and just each of us killed 2 or 3 people instantly. And Prof saw a body and he happened to see Dermy nearby. And because Dermy had been sort of going after him all night, he decided, screw it, I'm nuking Dermy right now. So he did it. And then Dermy had, what are you doing? Time melted. He had a Dermy meltdown where he went up 3 octaves and started to defend himself. And then I, of course, being one of the imposters, ran right through that door and said, yeah, fuck you, Dermy. Yeah, you did it, didn't you? Blame it on us, because then he tried to blame it on me. No, I did do it, but he'd been blaming shit on me all night, and I'd been innocent a bunch too. So it was real easy to turn the entire mob on Dermy, and everybody voted him out, and he just nuts. And then Static and I just went methodically, nobody busting us at all, because we had killed virtually. I think we had 13 people on that playthrough. We had killed 8 people, and they had no clues. They had nothing to go on it at all. So it was glorious, and it was a lot of fun. And I will give credit. We give Cloud a lot of heat sometimes in Ballbusters, but man, he knows what he's doing in Among Us. He's little Cloud walking around silently killing people. Shock is also very effective in really swaying opinions when he is the culprit. He's really good at it. And Kel is a murder machine. Kel is a murder machine. He just will silently kill people, go in full circles, and be like he wasn't even there. So it was great. So you can catch the replay. Dermy still got his perspective up. My perspective is now openly on Renaissance Art Arcade. I think Static, were you streaming it? I don't remember anymore. And I know of some of the others, like Shock had it on Kick, and a couple people else had a Kick. So it was a lot of fun. It was so good to play it finally after all these years. So look forward to more of that, and it will be a good time. And all right, so I tried to eat up a little time there. Well, yeah, listen, Cloud ganked me. He ganked Dermy multiple times. All right, I'll answer this. I guess it's a good warm-up. What do we think of Gina's announcement the other day? I think it's great. I think we are now one step closer to Discovery. Now, I'm still going to stay on my stance from earlier this year. We're not going to know anything until well into next year.
No, yeah.
Until we get these. But when we do, though, that's going to be content tree that we're all going to just harvest constantly.
Well, for me, the big thing that came out of this is that this seems like an impartial judge. That's something that I wasn't expecting in a California court. I believe it's in California.
No, it was the Ninth Circuit Court. They are famously bad, but they got it right. It was the Ninth Circuit Court. Yeah, because it was the Court of Appeals. See, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals is where, for years, that's where, let's just say, previous political administrations would go there to get stuff appealed in their favor. And so it's notoriously bad, but the fact that they got it right is amazing.
Yeah, because that's obviously an insane thing to ask of the courts from Disney's perspective. So yeah, them just shutting that down is at least giving me a little hope that it will be a fair trial, that we'll actually get to discovery, that we'll at least get the information out there. Even if the verdict's not in the direction that we'd like, discovery is the real victory here.
Yeah,
I think that's what we consider victory, not necessarily that Gina gets a bunch of money out of this or whatnot. And I don't even think she believes that.
I don't think she wants money. I don't think she wants. I mean, you and I, of course, you weren't at the G&G house when she stopped by. Were you there?
No, I've never met her in person.
Okay, yeah. But. And of course, I've never met her. I've only been a simp for a decade from afar. Hey, American Gladiators. When I first saw her, oh, damn, she was the one I locked onto as yes. Anyway, moving on from my fetishes. I've never met her. Jed wasn't in Florida yet when she was visiting the G&G house, but G&G does have connections to her. So Jed and I cannot speak to this, but others can, maybe sort of, but we would never ask them to do that because that's private and it's stupid to reveal your hand like that. So we can only guess what Gina's plans are based upon her thoughts that she has expressed. Personally, I think it's not about the money. I don't think it's about it's of course not about getting her job back with Disney. It's not about that. That was boilerplate they put in there. And all the stands wanted to say, oh my God, see, she just wants her job back to be a part of Star Wars. No, it's boilerplate. You have to base it on something. I think it's about the lack of respect she was shown and the damage to her character that they tried to inflict. And she wants to just get it out there.
Yeah.
And
I think it's more about exposing them and perhaps even protecting people like her that come after her at Disney. And I think those motives are pure. If she was just trying to get a big paycheck, that might be a little bit more conflicted. But I've, like you said, I can't speak to her motives or anything, but my impression of the situation from her social media primarily and her interviews is that, yeah, she just wants people to understand what her experience was and expose Disney for what they did to her and hopefully prevent it from happening to someone else.
Yeah. And the other big half of that is Elon. It's all because Elon has gotten involved. And Elon, in the past, we can say now, the past 10 months, Elon has emerged as somebody who is pushing back against these, I guess, agenda messaging. I mean, robots aside, chips in your heads aside, all kind of that stuff aside, Elon does believe in free speech. He believes in people getting fair treatment. And because of that, Gina's going to get her day in court. I believe. I don't think she's going to settle. I mean, Disney will probably try, of course, because they're scared. They're scared. The empire is falling apart is the thing. The Disney empire is completely falling apart. There were articles released this week because we don't do theme park. Of course, we're not really going to focus on that. But there are numbers coming out that there's massively less foot traffic walking through the parks. The parks are getting run down. There are legitimate complaints about the prices, and it's all coming in the face of the fact that we have the official launch date, the opening, I guess is a better way to put it, of Epic Universe in May.
And it's destroying any announcement Disney's made in the last decade, I'd say, park-wise.
Yeah. And I even saw an article that the hotel that's at the center of Epic Universe is massively discounted compared to Disney's hotels right now.
It doesn't surprise me. I spend a lot of time at Universal, been to Disney once, but the comparison is just night and day for prices, if nothing else. Even just going to concession stands, getting food, getting snacks, everything is twice as much at Disney, at least at Magic Kingdom versus Universal. And people just can't afford that. Higher quality for less price? Absolutely, people are going to choose to go to Universal.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to a theme park in well over a decade. I mean, I went to Disney as a kid multiple times when it was Disney, the actual true experience for a kid and a family. And I went to Universal, but I went to Universal when it was still the tiniest thing possible, where it was just
Yeah,
the
pretty
single,
new. The ET
right?
ride.
Yeah, and Jaws and shit like that. I mean, that's when I went to Universal before it had all the extra. I mean, there were no roller coasters back then. There were no roller coasters anywhere back then. And there were no real rides. It was just little things here and there. And it was nice, but it wasn't that back then. It wasn't Disney. It was just Universal Studios. Yay. But in the here and now, Universal is, I don't want to say eating Disney's lunch, but more the cafeteria line is getting longer at Universal. And people are wanting to eat their food more than Disney. So it's their larger share of the pie, as one would say, is happening. And I'm all for it. People are excited. If I was there, maybe I'd be excited, but because I did the theme parks as a kid, I kind of experienced all that stuff. And unless I had like a girlfriend or a family who wanted to do and stuff like that, that would be my motivation to go. But I don't have that. So I'm kind of, I'm happy in my little
It doesn't affect you, so
yeah.
not getting.
But I'm not averse to it. I just have no personal interest at the moment. But I'm excited that people are into it.
Oh, I'm very excited for it because the Epic Universe is actually in between Universal Studios and my house, so it's way closer to me.
Nice.
So it's not going to be an hour drive or something crazy like it normally is. And all these lands, I'm very much looking forward to. And yeah, the Nintendo stuff looks incredible. How to Train Your Dragon, I think those films are very well done, especially the first one. I mean, the other two are fun. But
the first one is the How to Train Your Dragon franchise is fascinating because the first one is out of the park, unique. It's great. It tells a fun, actual coming of age story of this and that kind of stuff. The second one was good in that it upped the stakes a little bit. It showed evolution, but then you have to understand. The funny thing they did is then they did the television show in between sort of. There was one in between the first and the second one, and then in between the second and the third one. Problem is, it's kind of a Disney Plus situation. What they did, everything they did is undone by the end of the TV series, except for maybe introduction of some dragons here and there for specific characters.
I think it was because TV series were trying to mirror the books, maybe or have some references from the books.
Maybe the books are drastically different from what I understand.
Yeah, they are. I think there was a bit more humor in the books than there is in the films. The characters are a lot different than they were in.
I heard the books were dark.
The books are very dark. And if you watch the seasons of the show, they're very funny. The humor is hysterical. But so by the end of the in-between season between the second and the third movie, everything's undone. So you can watch all three movies and not have to watch a TV series. You don't need to
I've never seen the TV series.
So. When I was laid up when I got back from China in 2017, I was in need of anything to watch. So I burned through them. And it was fun. I laughed a lot. But the movies are all great. Although after the way the third one ends, there is another show that takes place after the third one that is not doing well, from what I've heard. It's kind of had multiple seasons.
I've heard not great things about that.
But nobody talks about it.
I've never heard about it. Yeah. Did they undo Hiccup's ending? Because I think Hiccup's ending was pretty
they
decent.
move things sort of into the future is the thing. The kids the young kids look like they're wearing normal 21st century clothes. I've only seen a little bit of it. It doesn't look right.
They do.
It doesn't look right. I mean, yeah. So, but
Epic Universe takes place also between the second and third movie, so it might have some TV show for that season references in it.
Because in the series between second and third movie, the protagonists, the Dragon Riders, they go off and have their own little island where they have a base and a camp and have all kinds of stuff happen there. And by the end of it, of course, they abandon it and go back to town. But so it's if that's there, you can then confirm that it's kind of connected to what they did in the show, because the show is canon. You just don't need to watch it.
Yeah,
You just don't.
It's
need
completely unrelated.
Yeah, it goes away from it. But anyway, yeah. So that got tangent that off Gina's lawsuit. But yeah. So Disney's hurting. Discovery will be great. That like we said, that'll be content for weeks because the spin, the stands, the meltdowns, it'll be glorious. And it'll be truth is the problem. It's going to be truth because that's literally Discovery's made public is the thing. That's the whole thing about Discovery. It's a public release of information for court purposes. Therefore, it goes on the record. It's evidence, and we are then
they can't lie.
Yeah, and we are then privy to it. It's not one of these things where we hear a rumor and then we're scrambling for some sort of article or receipt to prove it. No, when this stuff hits the internet, that is the proof, and we will then we'll dissect it. There's no better way to put it.
It'll be beautiful. We'll have to have a whole stream just going through that information.
Yeah, it'll be the talk. That's going to be the talk right there when we learn the actual conversations that were likely had between Lucasfilm executives and Disney about what to do about Gina. What we learn, we'll likely then get tangible tangent stuff about Star Wars numbers because I'm right here. We'll probably get numbers that
that'll be glorious.
Desperate to hide that'll prove all our points that Disney Star Wars, especially on Disney Plus, has been a failure. I would love to somehow then I'd love actual hard numbers on the failure that is the High Republic. That's something I really want.
I don't know if those would come out, but that would be fantastic if they did. I'm hoping that they broadcast the trial kind of like they did with the Johnny Depp trial, and then people just live stream.
We are live. We may not be law tubers. We are so live streaming that shit.
Oh, if we could find it, I want to do that.
Yeah,
I actually really like some of those law tuber reactions to trials because I find trial science very fascinating.
So do I. I've watched enough dramatizations of it. The thing is, we don't have to be law tubers because they're going to be talking about our nerd shit. So we'll be able to cover it from the nerd aspect.
Yeah, we'll be focusing on that rather than
the news.
Oh, that was a bad objection. We're just gonna go, oh, that's some interesting information.
Yeah. That's I hope. Now that's probably sometime I would say roughly a year from now is what I would guess. Probably.
And I don't know why they would. I mean, obviously not all trials are
broadcast. It's not federal. It's not federal, and that's federal's the only thing that they don't they officially never let cameras in there. And Supreme Court.
Supreme Court, obviously, yeah.
So there's no reason why they wouldn't let cameras in there. I don't see why. And I would think that Gina as the defendant, Disney's the defendant. They might not want it in there, but I don't think they can say you can't do it. The court is the one that will say you're not allowed to bring cameras.
Wouldn't it be beautiful because it's Gina? This isn't anything that I've heard through the grapevine. This is just me talking shit. If she has Geeks and Gamers come, we set up cameras, and then Jeremy and Jay are outside in like a booth reacting to it like sports commentators.
My God, that would be hysterical.
You're gonna meet all the Disney people coming through.
Well, it depends on where it depends on where wasn't it filed in Texas? Was
it? I thought it was California.
Was California? Oh, you're right.
That's where Disney's
Ninth Circuit Court. Right, Ninth Circuit. Yes, it's Ninth Circuit. Yeah, so California. Damn, that's a field trip for everybody, then, isn't it?
Oh, they would do it. I'm certain of it.
Oh yeah. Jeremy would drive because he won't fly, and he just bitch the whole way.
Yep.
Anyway, so we're looking. That is great. I am looking forward to that, and all power to Gina. Gina did nothing wrong, and it's going to be hysterical. And at the same time, I would love to see the meltdown from Hollywood over that and their bad takes. But just slightly tangent. This week was New York Comic Con. Does anybody care?
I didn't know until I started seeing the Daredevil leaks. That's when I found out it was going on.
I only knew because, of course, Disney Star Wars decided to, do something. And
Skeleton Crew? Was it Skeleton Crew?
No, well, they released images. No, they are just pushing in between shit again. They've got a whole new comic line on what's happening before Phantom Menace.
So is it going to be the bridge between the Acolyte and Phantom Menace?
I don't know. They got pre-Sith Dooku as there.
Is that Obi-Wan in the corner?
Yes.
Did Obi-Wan ever interact with Count Dooku? Because in Attack of the Clones, it seemed like that's when they met.
No, never had.
Yeah, that was the impression I got.
Even in real canon lore, Dooku had left before Obi-Wan was old enough to have met him, because it's not like all the Jedi know all the Jedi.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, back then there were actually a bunch. So there's this cover of all the famous Jedi masters and a couple others from the prequel trilogy on this, and the stands are all nutting over it, going, "Oh my god, there's Jedi Dooku," and they're pushing a lot of High Republic stuff. And there's also there's this book. They released a Mace Windu book, and they can't give this shit away.
The artwork looks bad on that. I'm sorry. That looks
this is the con cover. This is the con cover that they're trying to give away.
It's still an eyesore.
Get your exclusive cover. And look, I mean, I can go back to.
It looks very Vader-esque.
Look, it's the same as it was I'll go back that one second. It's the same as it was previous day. It's just they're there. Nobody wants this. And here was a panel of crap authors, and my response was, show us how empty the small room is. I want to see how empty the small room is.
If there's a lot of people in there, they always show that.
Yeah.
They always show how big the audience is.
And you can tell it's a small room by looking at the dimensions of the ceiling right here.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a large room. At most, that's a capacity, maybe 40, 50 people, I would guess.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Someday you and I as writers will get bigger panels at Comic-Con than that.
Damn straight.
That's the dream.
Damn straight. See, I don't know if they've already ruined Qui-Gon in Disney Star Wars. They've already done a job of that. They've written books where Qui-Gon has uttered bullshit lines. They've already done that.
There's Tales of the Jedi as well. I think it was in Tales of the Sith as well.
Young Qui-Gon with Dooku in that Tales of the Jedi crap they released last year.
It's utterly ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. So Disney Star Wars happened. They tried to push a bunch of this High Republic stuff and this all announcements of Skeleton Crew action figures, and no actual real Star Wars represented at New York Comic Con, which is supposed to be one of the two biggest ones of the year, next to San Diego Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if Dre was here, I would ask his opinion on cons, because Dre has way more knowledge of of cons than we do. But I feel as though, because we asked him this last week, the con season never seems to end, and he said, "Yeah, it kind of just keeps going now. It's kind of just keeps moving around to different parts of the country. It's always active." But the fact that New York Comic Con went down, and have we heard anything major of anything at all?
No.
Releases. There's nothing.
Just the Daredevil leaks is the only thing I've heard. And when I say leaks, it's just they're bragging that Daredevil will say the F word in the show. That's most of what I've seen.
What, baguette or F-bomb?
F-bomb, like fuck.
Oh, fuck that.
Daredevil will say fuck in the Daredevil show. Aren't you so excited? There's going to be F-bombs on Disney Plus.
I don't... What's going on? What is going on here? I mean,
nothing.
This is all pathetic, and we're Disney Star Wars pathetic, MCU pathetic. I mean, they even announced with the rumors of all this shit coming around here that Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, will be at the front of Doomsday. I don't understand what their plan of attack is with any of this stuff. I really don't. Where is the excitement? There's no energy in all of this, because the stands all circle jerking each other on Twitter. That doesn't count. It literally is a small circle of idiots getting off on horrible announcements that are not moving anything forward. How can you have any excitement for Disney Star Wars when they keep locking it in their own pathetic past? Because they don't dare go beyond the sequel trilogy. Because that, first of all, the Rey movie is still happening. no one cares. They know they have a loser on that. So they can't you can go beyond it. Go ahead.
Well, and the stands are never going to recognize what you just said there, that the sequel trilogy and the time thereafter is cancerous. And Disney knows this. And so that's why they're being forced to just rehash old stuff that nobody cares about, because that's slightly less bad than revisiting the sequel era. And the stands are just so engrossed in their circle jerk, like you said, that they're never going to admit that that's the reason why we've never seen Rey since Rise of Skywalker, even though Daisy Ridley's
Lego doesn't count.
Come back. Yeah, Lego obviously doesn't count.
Yeah, Lego doesn't count. I mean, but you say entrenched. They're still crying over the Acolyte, Jed. The petition went nowhere. It's been locked in the 82,000s for weeks now. Look, the 509 people signed this week. That's because of Con, probably. That's because of Con, where they all congregate. But they still cry on X Twitter, going, save the Acolyte, renew the Acolyte. I saw a post yesterday. It's been 2 months since it was unjustly canceled.
Really?
It's weird the way they hold on to these things.
They're going to forget soon, because there is a Dory mentality with stands. As soon as the Skeleton Crew comes out, going to completely forget about the Acolyte.
The childish adults are getting ready for that. There's the weird obsession over the Ortorlan juvenile.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, honestly.
It's very weird. They're like, protect him. I got blocked by one person who did a GIF of a cursor petting his head. I will keep petting his head for these days. And I said, that's creepy. Why are you doing this to this juvenile alien? I got blocked, of course.
Yeah, I feel like they're so excited that he is not human, as if that's some excuse for their depraved behavior directed towards a child. And it really creeps me out.
Yeah. And so and we're on the record of saying, at least I'm definitely on the record of saying, when this show comes out, when Skeleton Crew comes out in a little over a month now, it's not going to be the same level of destruction the Acolyte was, because it's some weird Mandoverse lore stuff, which is just so out there and strange. We don't even know really what's going on there. But it's going to be silly and stupid because it's made for childish adults. They say made for kid. No, it's made for childish adults who are Disney stans. That's what it's made. And I'm probably going to criticize it over its stupidity more than its lore. I mean, there'll be lore breaks in there, but I'm probably going to criticize it over its stupidity and poor acting. And Jay Fraser just brought it up. They're already trying to create false narratives of, we need to protect these kids from the toxic chuds.
The same group of people that bullied the young actress that plays Tony Stark's daughter on Endgame, because they all thought that she was going to be Ironheart, and they all bullied and harassed her because she wasn't dark enough, something daft like that.
Well, it's the same people that don't understand that Jake Lloyd wasn't harassed by fans. He was harassed by the media. The same people who don't understand that Ahmed Best wasn't harassed by the fans. He was harassed by the media. The same people that continue to perpetuate the fake story that Kelly Marie Tran stepped away from social media because she was attacked by toxic nerds, when in fact she's on the record in interviews saying the sudden fame was too much for me, so I disconnected.
Which is very understandable. Like, that's a very real response and motivation.
Yeah. There is never a receipt presented for anything. Not even for Moses Ingram and Reva. Those 3 weird things that I will still hold to this day were bots created by Disney to create the story. Amanda Stenberg. No, the criticism of Amanda Stenberg is that she can't act and that she is a retard when she talks after attacking fans first. No, there was no racist comments and people saying, why do you suck as an actress? Why does your character suck? Why can't you emote more? Those are the legitimate criticisms, which are the same legitimate criticisms I will be allowed to do if the children actors are not very good. I can criticize their performances. I can criticize their characters. That's not attacking children. That's attacking it's criticizing.
Yeah, it's a skill set. Yeah, they don't have the skill set. And these people, they take everything so personally. There's nothing in their lives that they don't internalize to such a degree that it's implicitly tied to their mental health. So, of course, anything that's remotely about your job, even if it's not your fault. Like sometimes we're like, oh yeah, that actor didn't do a good job in this movie, probably because of bad direction. Like we do have those types of arguments as well. But even if we did that for Amanda Stenberg, let's say we blamed it on Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant instead of Amanda Stenberg, it would still be, oh my God, you're racist because she did the role. It doesn't matter to these people what you say. You can't criticize people of color. You can't criticize gay people, women, anything like that, because the only motivation could possibly have is istrophobe motivation. So it's completely ridiculous to have conversations with these people, and they're going to make narratives about anything just to be offended. And they take everything so personally that they have to be offended.
And they want it both ways. You can't criticize them about their race or their pronouns, and the person be like, I hear my pronouns. Amanda Stenberg calls herself a they, them. And she calls herself black when her daddy is a very white Jew from Denmark. I think it's Denmark.
Denmark?
Or I think it is. I forget.
So you're saying she's a what?
Oh, good job. I'm thank you.
Look at this half breed.
Yeah, look at that. Thank you, Dre. Thank you, Dre.
Thank you, Dre.
Thank you, Dre. But then she wants to call herself a they, them, and not be criticized for how she presents herself. But then a couple weeks later, she'll go to a show, basically walk around naked with the titties hanging out. Well, hanging out through the dress. It was complete see-through. A lot of people, and then they want to be thirsty over her some more. So it's, don't judge her as a woman, but oh no, now we're thirsty and now we're writing more of our weird fanfic nonsense about it. Incorporating that into our
We see this all the time. You're not straight white men aren't allowed to sexualize these people, but if you're gay or whatnot, go for it. It is celebrated. And every time these brings the power. Exactly. But every time these women come out to the red carpet events, whatnot, with their tits hanging out and whatnot, as straight white guys, we'd be criticized for saying, oh man, she looks hot. Like Anne Hathaway from, I believe it was 2003, a red carpet event where her tits are hanging out. We're criticized as being creepy for saying, damn, she looks fine. But if a gay chick does it to Amanda Stenberg on Twitter, it's like, oh yes, Queen Slay, you want to motorboat her? Go for it. Jump on her. It's like, and it's always very graphic. Like guys just go, ooh, that's hot. These crazy people are just like, I want to dive into her deep pool and swim around in her labia. It's like, what the hell?
Okay, 48 minutes. Gonna go back for that one. There you go. That's a good shit one. But you're absolutely right. They never want to take responsibility for their own degeneracy. And we're the creepy weirdos.
Of course.
We're the chuds who only care about sex and patriarchy to keep the women chained to the bed for baby breeding. I mean, that's all they freaking care about.
They think the world's going to be Handmaid's Tale.
Exactly.
That's why they love that show so much, because that's legitimately what they believe will happen.
Yeah, that's freaking far left misery porn right there. They love that shit. But that's not the real world. But these people all exist on social media. They don't actually know each other. They don't actually do anything with each other. They just exist on social media, having these conversations, creating these fantasy worlds where they think that the moment we see a black person or a Latino or anything like that, that we as the evil white toxic chuds, that we're instantly inflamed with more racisms and we scream and we shout and we can't take it, especially if they're women. It's absurd. It's ludicrous. And it's why they're losing. It's why they're the only ones at Comic-Con. Because cons in general, the major cons, are geared towards them now. With the franchises that have evolved from bending the knee to them. Which is, I'm sure there are still some real actual nerds and true fans who go, but the ones who are there for personal enjoyment are few, and the other ones that are still going are likely going there for professional purposes, either having a booth or there to report on stuff, to give accurate knowledge to us of what's going on there. And these cons, back to that part of the discussion, they're becoming less and less relevant. I mean, you're the MCU, and all you do with New York Comic Con is Daredevil? That's it?
Well, and they're pushing their new Hawkeye from a couple weeks ago. Did you hear about the new Hawkeye?
Oh, the non-binary native dude
who's Two-Spirit. Because get it, Native Americans, the Great Spirit. Get it?
Yeah, I did see somebody read a panel from the comic where he basically chastises Captain America and
of course
all that stuff. That's for anybody that thinks that the MCU is going to change, that Marvel's going to change. No, they're not.
Nope,
At
not
least
anytime soon.
Not in the next year, because they still have all this shit they made that's coming out. And we damn sure know Lucasfilm isn't changing.
Oh, God, no. Not as long as Kathleen Kennedy's in charge.
They're still putting out High Republic stuff that's pushing McGay. They're still putting out all kinds of crap that nobody's interested in. Tell me one thing the world is talking about when it comes to Star Wars right now. I mean, and I don't mean the stands, the world, anything.
I mean, besides the occasional group saying how bad it is, nothing. Nobody.
Nothing. Yeah, because what right now the discussion is, and we'll get to it a little bit later if we get into that topic. Outlaws, done. Nobody cares about it. Listen, we've still got literally a month from now, on the 21st of November, they're first releasing it on Steam. I literally put that on my calendar so I don't forget. There's a video that day watching a Steam chart, watching it.
The Steam chart will be beautiful. Oh my God,
that is guaranteed content.
I hope they pull a Concord after that. Have you heard what's going on with Concord? Just as a quick aside,
aren't they releasing more?
They're about to Morbius the shit. They think because it's getting a lot of social media interactions, they're going to re-release it.
Oh, man.
And it's just gonna fail. Just like Morbius did when they re-released it in theaters, it's gonna be so much worse the second time around.
Oh, man.
I hope Outlaws does that.
Here's the thing. So we might as well transition to that discussion here. Current gay gaming, it's a mess. It's a mixed bag. It's a mess. On the one hand, you've got studios that are listening and doing things right. You've got, well, I won't say doing it right because Bandai Namco is all kinds of effed up right now. But they did release Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which for anybody who understands Dragon Ball games, they're literally the same games every time. And except for the Xenoverse duology, they're literally the same game every time, just in a new kind of format or a new thing, because it just keeps retells all the arcs, and you just get to replay it, maybe do it different ways, alternate realities. But Dragon Ball fans love that shit. They love replaying all those stories. Dermy he hasn't done it yet. He's going to seclude himself in a room with Diddy Oil and play Sparking Zero because he is so excited that it's like the Tenkai Buko to Duichi, whatever the hell those were called. I don't know what those were called. Because it's like that again, and he's all ready for that. But people are having a lot of fun with it because they delivered the real game. They made it for the fans. We've talked about it before, but we'll talk about it again here, where Space Marine 2 has done nothing but deliver to the fans. They've given them a gritty, in-your-face 40K world with all the trappings and all the dark nastiness that is 40K. And they got a roadmap coming out that is going to give everybody what they want. Now, I've heard they nerfed some stuff, but hey, hello. It's called balancing, and everybody's always going to be angry when nerfs happen. That's how this shit works. Nerfs are a way of life. People complaining, oh my God, I'm going to review on this. Oh my God, the ratings are going down because of nerfing. Fake gamers. Nerf happens. You find a way around it, and then they might readjust it again if complaining enough. They realize, oh, we broke it. It was working fine. Let's put it back the way it was. But people are happy with Space Marine 2. They've got a whole bunch of stuff that's coming out. I didn't have the article up here, but I can show my copy of it because I am doing it, and I'll be playing it tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern, Star Trek Troopers Extermination. It's fun. I've been playing, getting used to the game, the tutorial, essentially doing story mode stuff, learning the game. It's fun. It's Helldivers 2 without the controversy. And people are just...
Is it top down or third person?
First person.
Okay.
First person. First person. I've been doing sniper, so I like my sniper rifle. I just unlocked the strongest sniper rifle for the moment, and if I have cover, I've only been playing with NPCs, so I don't really get a lot of protection. But man, that thing is vicious. I can blow up a warrior bug with one shot with that thing. It's glorious. It's freaking glorious. But it's a lot of fun, and it's got all kinds of options, and they have their own roadmap that they're going to do. But then here's the other problem. You've got games that have no business being talked about anymore. Why are you giving us a Hogwarts Legacy DLC almost 2 years later? Why?
Well, my theory is they are trying to get over the whole game sequels take too long to come out. So they're just trying to revitalize a little bit of interest in the brand to buy them time to make Hogwarts Legacy 2, which they're working on.
Yeah, it's just, listen, Hogwarts Legacy was an easy game. It was a fun little game. It was nice, but it was really easy. Even on the hardest mode, because there was no difference in the mode challenge. It wasn't at all. There was stuff to do, but it was for the hardcore Potterhead.
Yeah.
To go out, look at the terrain, find shit. I just went out and found everything because I went in completionist mode, and I was going for a platinum, which I didn't get because the game screwed you over and only had 2 mobs that existed in the Deadly Hollows level that you didn't know you had to blow up.
Yeah, I got screwed by that too.
I'd have a platinum if it wasn't for that. I'd have my platinum. But I'm not into it enough to go back and play the whole game again just to get to that level, because that's way towards the end of the game. And I don't want to do that again. And they should have had an option to replay levels, and
something like that. Yeah. If I ever do replay, I'm gonna do a Hufflepuff, and I hate saying that, but because they get the freaking Azkaban quest is exclusive to Hufflepuff, and I think that's just gay.
That is stupid.
That's just gay.
Yeah, that's lame. And so, but they're releasing an additional 10-15 hours for a definitive edition. Screw you. Everybody who bought this game already has it. And I don't think even a Potterhead's going to rebuy the definitive edition. I don't know.
You should be able to purchase the DLC separately.
They will. They did say you're going to, but
yeah,
this game is done. It's over. Either make a second one or just be quiet about it. It's a squeeze. But then you have other stuff. We mentioned it. Outlaws. It's over. And it's over because it was a woke disaster.
99%.
I mean, I was watching EFAP yesterday and a little bit this morning where they were giving it a full breakdown. Funny. And it's funny the way they talk about it. And you know what I realized? They were talking about, they were talking about when Maves was playing Sabak, and my brain didn't break there. I just tried to make a joke and I dropped the ball. I was trying to find a joke for her pun for her name, and I had nothing, so I decided to stutter like an idiot instead. They had Kves playing Sabak, and from what I could see, it wasn't Sabak. From reading Star Wars books and lore and how Sabak is played, because if you want a really good Sabak point of view, in Courts for Princess Leia, Han is playing a game when he wins the planet of Dathomir, and you're from his perspective, and you're seeing how it played out. From what I saw, what they put in this game is not Sabak. Looks like a version of Pazak from KOTOR, almost like has Pazak almost there. So they can't even get that shit right. They get nothing right, which is why nobody plays this game. This game is a disaster. And you know what was funny? I was watching them watch the video they were critiquing on EFAP, and every time they paused it occasionally, man, she is so ugly. Some of those pauses on her face is just, it's god-awful. God-awful. So this is a disaster. And at the same time, you've got
oh god,
Halo Studios. They just can't stop. Now, somebody in the comments to my video when I talked about this earlier in the week said, Halo 343 before they became Halo Studios, they've been shitting on fans for years. And my comment was, I've only been recently checking this out because of my Halo TV show coverage. So you have to forgive me. I'm not completely up to date on the abuse dished out by Halo Studios. But you see this. It's another community manager attacking fans. And of course, this is from 2021. This is from 2021, this picture, but it still applies because you're still behaving like this, still pushing not to secret agenda bullshit, still hammering this crap over fans who just want the Master Chief to kick ass.
It's not a hard formula. Like Halo has one of the easiest formulas for success out there, and they just can't manage it because it seems vindictive. Like they're intentionally not using their master formula that just wins.
Yeah, it's not
it's
hard.
Asinine. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they botched Halo Infinite completely.
Oh yeah, that game's dead. Absolutely dead.
Yeah,
but like there are different difficulties for these formulas. Tolkien is always going to be a difficult formula to get right. Rings of Power really did not do a good job, but Tolkien is always going to be difficult, even for talented people. But Halo, it's literally, you just said the entire formula: Master Chief kicking ass. That's Cortana, all you need.
Cortana, even though Cortana's dead, but Cortana or new AI, make them hot.
Yeah, hot AI, Master Chief with his helmet on all the time, kicking alien butt. That's an easy formula.
Yeah, that's all people want. That's all people need. But they can't get that because they have to attack the gamer fan base, the real fan base, in favor of the mythical, chasing the dragon modern audience. That's never there. You're never going to get them. It's a high you're never going to find because they don't exist. And what does exist, and I'm saying what does exist, is the true minority. They can't move the needle on games. They can't move the needle on TV shows or movies. Gaming is very strange right now. I mean, I haven't mentioned it, of course, but I will mention it. Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Literally 11 days from now. 10. We're in the afternoon today. 10 and a half days. That, if the leaks are believed that were released this week, the game is a disaster. Now, I have said I'm going to play it, but just to mention this now, I might as well say it now, and I hope you guys can forgive me, I might have to break my promise because I might not be able to spend the money on it. I don't know if certain things have come up in my real life that I can't drop $70 on a game that's likely gonna be shit, and so I might not be able to. I'll know in another. I'll know. It'll be a game time decision, but I'm letting you guys know. Even though I've been promising I would play it and show you guys, I might not be able to afford to get it. It's just that simple. Some things have come up that things that actually require real money to go to a proper place, not just feeding my channel for a game that everybody's going to hate anyway. Likely, and if that does come to pass, then I will likely wait till it's on discount and then we will check it out. So I apologize.
You're gonna pass on your game of the year.
Listen, I'd rather play Among Us again at this point because that was actual fun. All right, getting a chance to gank Dermy. That's real fun.
It's real power.
Real power. But these companies don't know what they're doing. Even some of the Japanese companies, some have turned the corner like Square Enix. Some have not, like Bandai Namco or Konami or Capcom. They're continuing. They haven't, or at least maybe their Western branches are still doing retarded shit. So gaming is strange right now. It really is. And elephant in the room, Ubisoft. We cannot forget Ubisoft.
That one hurts a little bit as an Assassin's Creed fan. Not as much as CD Projekt Red. That's the one that makes me the most sad.
They're not any better right now.
Yeah, they're a disaster.
Yeah. They keep releasing information that just flies in the face of what we know.
Oh, they're going to ruin Ciri. They're going to give her a side shave. I can almost guarantee it.
Ooh, well, dude, just think about the content. Just it's like we said when we were talking Harry Potter TV show last week. No matter what, even when we lose, we're still gonna win for content. Even when we lose, we'll still win.
There's only one project that they're doing that I have a little bit of hope for. I hope the Witcher 1 remake, at least they keep it 99% close to the original game. Because I love the trilogy, but Witcher 1 is unplayable.
The gameplay is nasty. Hitting those little circles to swing the sword is insane.
It's horrible. So yeah, if they remaster that or remake it with good quality animation, gameplay, and whatnot, but don't change the story overly, that's the only thing that I'm hoping and praying for. That's a little one, and they're offshooting it to a third-party studio. So I don't know anything about Molasses Flood if they're on the same bandwagon as CD Projekt Red, but that's the one thing I have hope for. The Siri trilogy, as it's reported to be, might not be Siri, but that trilogy, no real hope for that. The multiplayer, I don't give a shit about online Witcher play. So even if that's good, that's not necessarily for me. And then yes, Cyberpunk. I enjoyed the first Cyberpunk, but it was already getting pretty woke. And the DLC, I did not like the DLC. I never finished it. I hated the DLC so much.
There's a rumor that the other Assassin's Creed projects are so woke and gay that Ubisoft wants to run away from it. It's like, we can't put this out. We can't do it. We're already in trouble.
So many of them. And Infinity's going to be a disaster if they ever get that far. That's pretty far down the road. But they have a Chinese one coming out that I think is a mobile game. They have so many announced right now. But
it's a strange landscape. And right now, the best thing people can do is find something you like. Replay also. I mean, in a month or maybe sooner, there might be some opening schedule. When I do my 24-hour stream in November, I might do two of them. I might have a chance to do two of them. The games we're going to be playing as part of the 24 hours, it'll be a mix of things: games, breaks, discussions, regular sort of semi-natural 20 type stream. Discord will be open. People will be coming in and out. But the games are going to be playing, with the exception of Starship Troopers Extinction, old games. Old games. We'll be playing some Mass Effect. We'll be playing some KOTOR. We might play little Crusader Kings. You know, it'll be a mix of stuff that is old. Nothing new. Nothing new. And even next year, games that I'm looking forward to streaming, they're remasters. Suikoden 1 and 2, Lunar Remastered Collection. Those are classics. They're not current day. They're just classics that get a little fresh coat of paint, which is what you hope the Witcher 1 remake is going to be. Just modern mechanics, fresh coat of paint, updated graphics. That's all it needs. Although I did hear a rumor with that, or maybe it was some of the weirdos trying to push it, that they need to get rid of Geralt's basically whoring with all the cards and this and that one.
Yeah, they've often referenced that as being misogynistic. Not the fact that he has sex with all these women, but the fact that he gets trading cards of their nudes.
I only missed one. Only missed one when I did my playthrough back in the day.
I think they'll just switch it out for normal sex scenes like Witcher 3 and Witcher 2 had. And I think that's going to satisfy everyone in this argument. No one's going to be too
digital
upset.
titties, baby. Hell yeah.
They might leave the cards in as like Easter eggs that you can find some places, and I think that would be the best way to address that situation, because the cards is weird. I think the cards are a little weird.
The one I always remember is when I had sex with the 3 vampire sisters, and the card was them all over me. It's like, okay, so I had sex with all 3 of them. Okay,
You did. But Witcher 1 has the most lore issues, so that's why it's definitely my least favorite beyond just the gameplay stuff. But the fact that there's a second child with the Elder Blood as a central plot line is horrific for the lore and series importance.
Well, the problem with the Witcher 1 game in itself, in terms of the story, is they drop you in with no knowledge of how Geralt got in that position where he doesn't remember anything. And as someone who was fresh new to it back then, I was kind of grasping more was going on. Fortunately, the game was engaging enough that I got all the way through it. But
Witcher 2 does a much better job about balancing his memory loss, and then 3 just like, oh yeah, he's fine now. He's got all his memory back.
Yeah. You got it. You're fine. The spell Triss did at the end of Witcher 2 was a success. Yay.
The Rose of Remembrance.
Yes. So gaming is odd, and I'm going to go back to what I said, I think, a couple of weeks ago. I hope we're at a point where the shit like we just saw from Halo Studios and all that stuff, that is being rejected so hard that other studios are cleaning house and preparing to rehire development teams that know what the hell they're doing and are ready to just make good games again. And we'll get that over the next few years. I see what Jay Fraser's talking about in the chat there. I've seen that. It looks like a Jeremy-esque guy on this comic panel. I guess I can. From John Del Rose did it. Let me see if I can.
If you're looking it up, I found it.
Oh, you found it? Okay, yeah. Sorry, you go ahead and share it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's it. Everybody's saying it looks like Jeremy.
Yeah, he does say the mainstream media.
Yeah. So it's
the left. Yeah, this is absolutely for being straight white men. They want to emasculate you. Yeah, that's Jeremy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I'm sure
the level of creativity these people have is so embarrassing.
So transparent. It's so transparent. I
mean, the artwork is terrible. The framing is weird as shit.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm sure this will be on daily on Monday.
Oh, look, they've got little outline of his Jeremy in his eyes there.
I see you.
It's just the outline, though. It is not in any sort of detail.
So, is this person watching him being radicalized?
Yes.
What is it? What is this? A young lad on the internet. Oh my God, I like Disney Star Wars until this person radicalized me.
This is fantastic.
Oh, goodness. It's there. All of us at certain levels. I know I live in some Stan's heads rent free. We all live in their heads rent free. I mean, I rarely think about anybody who I troll once they block me. The only reason I thought I was reminded yesterday of good old Suggsy because someone else posted that the Delusional Takes account on Twitter has decided to focus on Suggsy. So he's getting a lot of attention there. And I decided to read the comments thread and everybody just shitting on that poor dumb son of a bitch. So I love it. That's the only time I think about it when somebody else puts it in front of me. I don't think about these people. I don't once they block me. And what I'm hoping doesn't happen with the new thing on X Twitter with the whole new block stuff coming around. Everybody's complaining, oh my God, people I've blocked to come and bother me. I'm the exact opposite is, no, I got the block so I never have to see them again. That's the whole reason I played the block game.
It loses its value, yeah.
That's one of the reasons I do it. That's the whole reason I do it.
I have complicated opinions on the blockchain, the block changes, but if someone who's blocked wants to look at your stuff, it is so easy to do it. Just sign out of your account and have the link.
Yeah.
New account, but you just don't need to be signed in and you could view whatever you want. You have to do it a certain way. But yeah, interacting is the only thing that it changes, and a new account would obviously fix that or bypass that. But yeah, if you're wanting to hide your photos or anything, blocking doesn't stop that. It's incredibly easy to bypass a block to look at people's photos and tweets and whatnot. And I don't really care.
I don't care either. Just because, like I just said, my whole reason for blocking is the exact opposite. I don't block people. I want to be blocked so I never see them again. It's weird, I know, but it's how I entertain myself.
Well, they won't show up in your timeline still.
They won't? Okay, that's my fear. That's my fear.
Yeah, no, the block still removes them from your algorithm.
Yay! Good. Then my game continues.
Yeah, that's the big thing is, all the algorithmic stuff, all the hiding automatically is still all there. It's just they can manually go to your profile. You can manually go to theirs if you wish.
Okay.
That's practically it.
That's good. All right, then that makes you feel better. Good. Then the scoreboard will continue and the trophies will continue to be collected. Yep. But it's to talk about like what Frank says here, it's 50-50 chance things are going to get doubled down on when we get the results of the election in a couple of weeks. Gaming, it's going to be years, if we see any changes. But in the here and now in the moment, we have signs that maybe, just maybe, somewhere, somehow, some people who have some control over IPs or upcoming projects, they might just be getting it. Because we got this little tidbit this week that I am, frankly, I'll just say I have a little hope. It's like there's a chance. When we learned that the God of War TV series that we have talked about many times on this show has basically, and I'm going to say it, fired the entire creative team making this. And that is significant because the guy behind it was good old Rafie Poo Judkins, the piece of human excrement behind the Wheel of Time show, also on Amazon. Jed, I'm not saying this show is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be good now. All I'm saying is, without Rafe Judkins and his team there, it has a chance. Because you remember where they were going to start, right?
Oh, yeah. They were going to start with the Norse games, and that's obviously a disaster because the Norse games don't have the same emotional weight to them and character development without the Greek storyline. So they should absolutely start with the Greek storyline. They can condense it because the story of the Greek trilogy isn't all that deep. So you could probably get it done in 2 seasons, I'd say.
Really? You think
maybe 3?
I think if you do short seasons, like maybe 6 to 8 episodes for each one, don't pad it, don't stretch it out. You can do season 1, and for season 1, you just really need to cast maybe 3 people.
Yeah, season 1 will be very limited. A lot of monsters, obviously.
A lot of monsters. But you just need a freaking Chad to play Kratos. You could, even though Athena's there in spirit, you could just go ahead and physically cast Athena.
Yeah, since you'll need her later, might as well.
And you need Ares. That's it.
I kind of hope they redesign Ares, though. I'm not a fan of his design in the first one.
Giant ginger that looked like you.
Yeah, it's just weird looking. But I do have some problems lore-wise with the Greek trilogy. Obviously, someone who's
it's bastardized. It's completely bastardized.
Completely bastardized. That's why I prefer the Norse ones. They feel a lot more respectful to the Norse, and I don't have as much of an investment. So that is a personal thing with me. But yeah, the story needs to begin with the Greek ones. Absolutely. Yeah. And like you said, this doesn't mean they bought all the goodwill they need. This doesn't mean it's a clear-cut a recipe for success. It could be slightly better. It could be about the same. They could double down on this decision, make it worse, and hire a bunch of the women who wrote Rings of Power season 2 to show run and write this. They could make it worse in that respect, but at least they're recognizing that Rafe Judkins is a hack and getting him out of there. That's what I hope, is that that he was fired because of his incompetence, which he has displayed on many occasions.
It says starting from scratch. That's a full reset button. They had scripts written, which means they're throwing the scripts out. Which
Hopefully they go back to Greek.
Which tells me somebody says, "Hey, let's start where it begins." First game. Now I'm saying don't. Here's why I think they could get, at least in the first, second season, they can get 3 seasons. Because if you do the first 3 games, I'm not talking about the side games. Just
there's games. So many side games.
But what you could do is you could incorporate flashbacks into the seasons for that content, and that could be legitimate padding, where you cover Kratos accidentally killing his family and getting cursed and becoming the ghost of Sparta.
The main reason I'd say to condense the Greek ones is the Norse ones are so massive with such deep storytelling that they'd be so big season wise. Like, you could do a 22 episode season, traditional season of television for each Norse game. You could absolutely pad those or stretch those out. And that's why I think maybe 2 seasons of the Greek transitioning into the Norse ones, and then do 4 seasons of the Norse ones. I think that would balance out very well.
I guess you could do God of War 2 and 3 in 1 season. because not a lot happens in those games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, I'd have when he gets stabbed by Zeus at the end of the second one, or when he, yes, whichever way it was, the Sword of Olympus. That could be basically the second act low point for the season.
Yeah, and plunging into Hades and then having to fight his way out. Because God of War 3 is just basically climb the tower, kill everything in your way. I mean,
Basically,
that's
it's awesome. But yeah, this story that could be done in 2 episodes probably. God of War 3, 2 or 3 episodes.
Listen, and if they do that, I want that point of view when you beat the shit out of Zeus.
Mm-hmm.
When you just that would be if they do that and they get that far and they give you that would be the biggest sign of respect to the fans. If you give us that point of view of of Kratos' fists just pounding Zeus to a bloody pulp,
you got to do it.
That would be we made this for you. That's how it be. So there's a chance.
And
there's a chance.
I think the main reason that they didn't want to do the Greek ones isn't because the Norse are more popular. I believe that is a good excuse and possibly what the corporate people were thinking. Yeah. But the activists were probably on board with that decision as well because of the connotations of killing his wife and his daughter. I think they are so averse to the idea of following a protagonist who starts out his story doing that. Even if it's an accident, it is 100% an accident. He doesn't realize it's his wife and daughter because of Ares. Spoiler alert for a, 16-year-old game.
It's old. Don't worry.
It's very old. But I fully believe that they are adverse to that because of the modern day domestic abuse connotations or some shit like that. But I would be 100% on board with the series if that's how it opened. Like, I mean,
I equated this to Halo. It's a simple equation. Halo would have worked first season, first game. Very simple. This will work first season, first game. And I think I agree with you. I didn't give it a lot of thought early in the week, but I think you're right. One more season after that to just cover God of War 2 and 3.
Yeah. 2 has some decent story in there with Athena and
there's a lot of travel. There's a lot of travel going on. Different.
I love the third one. That's my favorite of the Greek trilogy, but it is very much one thing stretched out.
You bulldoze your way through, and I mean the highlights of 3 are certain battles, like Hercules and stuff like that. Running into that kind of stuff. That's where you get
fucking Aphrodite.
That's where you get the good stuff. But all they need to do, first season, first game. Don't think beyond that. Just give us that first game because six episodes, and just go through it. Enter the city, run into your hurdles. Secret of Pandora's box. Go out to Kronos. Come back. Fight Ares. It's easy. It's not hard.
It's all there right for you. They've even made the creative choices for you because the Greek games have a very distinct artistic style. And so that's all there for you. Just plug in a live action actor into a CGI environment.
Yep. Just do it. And if you do it and respect it, watch the success happen. And because Rafe Judkins isn't there, it has a chance because that guy, he's one of those people that thinks he can do it better than those who created the world he was handed. Yeah.
And he would have made him gay. I'm still worried about that because there are the rumors that, or like the fan theories, the stan theories, like Kratos is actually gay. Like there's zero evidence of that. He's had
oh my God,
tons of women and
there are mini games where he just annihilates the ladies of the brothel.
That's a lot of evidence that he's straight. But yeah, they would have made something that like, oh, that friend from the second game that he named his son after in the Norse ones, 100% was his boyfriend or some shit.
Oh God. All I remember is when I played the first game, I immediately turned around, went back to my ship and screwed 2 chicks on my ship or something like that. It's like it's the first thing you can do when you start the game. You could turn around and go bang 2 chicks on your boat.
You literally rock the boat.
Exactly. I hope this works. Now, Either way, we win. It's either good and we have fun talking about it, or it's dog shit and we rip it apart. It's easy.
I hope it's good.
I want it to be
I
good.
think we need a good masculine TV show these days, and there's nothing more masculine than Kratos just roiding out and
young Kratos rage, destroy everything, just not giving a shit. It's gonna be so. I hope it's good. We're 2 years away from this. So if they're just starting over again right now, we're not seeing this till 26 at
least. Yeah.
Yeah. So
casting will make a big decision if they do a small little dude who's not going to bulk up,
and it's not going to be Christopher Judge because he's too old. He's too old.
He's too old. He's fantastic in the role.
Now that you've seen him as Teal'c, if it was young Judge in prime Teal'c form,
he would have been perfect.
Would have been fantastic,
and
would have been great.
Even just Teal'c's personality is very good for old Kratos. So we get the little rage parts of him that he could do a great job. But Jay Fraser put it out there, and I was trying not to say it, but Pedro Pascal getting cast as Kratos is entirely within the realm of possibility, considering his bizarre popularity.
Just get past that dude already, please.
Listen, he's gonna be in fucking Gladiator 2.
Listen, Gladiator 2 is gonna bomb. That's gonna
hardcore.
Bomb. The Mando Grogu movie gonna bomb. I'm gonna say now, Fantastic Four. First Step's going to bomb. He is going to be at the front of 3 movies that are going to, I believe, fail massively. And now, listen, we don't have the greatest track record around here of predicting some of the box office results. Okay, we can admit that. But these are projects that nobody asked for. Nobody asked for a Gladiator 2, at least not 20 years later. Okay? I remember when I was in college for the first time, and I was taking a Roman history class. And the teacher brought it up. He brought up the Gladiator movie just to piss on the intro, saying, those are not the kind of horses the Romans rode on. Roman horses were weak and tiny. It's bullshit.
I'd love that exact situation. I'd love to be in that situation and watch that.
Yeah, it was funny. See, Gladiator really did it for me. I know a lot of people love it. I personally I can take it or leave it.
There's no story to go off of. I don't give a shit about his son in 20 years or some shit with Denzel Washington, and Pedro Pascal is like, he's the emperor, isn't he? And
I don't know. He's a fellow. He's a fellow. He's another general. He's another general or some shit.
Okay, yeah, it's that kid from Stranger Things season 4 who's the emperor.
Yeah. So I don't. But it was funny when he started class. Like, these aren't how Roman horses were, and Roman cavalry was shit. It was used as a flanking maneuver when the battle was already won. They didn't really use their cavalry well. And I was just going.
It is true.
That would have been me. That would have been me. I would have been dying of laughter.
Yeah, so that's why whenever Gladiator comes up, I look at it from a historian criticism, because I took a class and I know how that shit was supposed to be, and that movie is not accurate at all.
Oh God, no.
Yeah,
no.
But people love it. That's fine.
It's an enjoyable movie, but I don't think it's a great movie or anything.
I think I've seen it once, and that was enough. Point is, you've got 3 movies with Pedro Pascal, and I don't see how any of them make money. Not with their likely budgets.
Oh, and Last of Us Season 2?
4.
That's coming out next year.
Do you think they're going to change it?
I don't know how they're going to. They're barely showing him in the trailers, so it could just be he dies at the end of the first episode. They're splitting it into multiple seasons, so he might die at the end of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They know that Bella Ramsey cannot carry that show on her own. They absolutely know it.
Did you see the meme where they put her face on the character on Ellie from the game, and they morphed it on there? Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Not good.
She's horrifying to look at. She's not Ellie in any way, shape, or form. And I really do like the actress that they cast as Abby.
But she's feminine. She's feminine.
She's very feminine. So they're definitely changing that too. But I've seen her in other stuff. She's a very talented actress. She's great in Last Man Standing. If no one's seen that, that's a great show. And she's Tim Allen's daughter in that show. But yeah, she's obviously not Abby from the game, so that's a good thing. But they're already talking about how they're giving her additional security because the toxic gamers are going to try to kill her.
Bullshit. Fuck that. That's such horse shit. That is such horse shit. Yeah. So, Pedro Pascal, I wonder how sought after he'll be in the next couple of years when each of these movies bomb. Because Fantastic Four first steps.
No. Especially with the Science Guy 60 show as his day job. He's just going to be terrible.
And then you add in Mando and Grogu, which will be the true sign of how little a true fan base Disney Star Wars has.
I'm looking forward to it because we'll have actual numbers that they can't refute.
That's gonna whenever that drops, that's gonna be our Christmas. I mean, remember how Gary was all excited for the Marvels? It was his Christmas. That's my Christmas. Mando Grogu. That's my Christmas.
Do you think it's gonna break early predictions here?
I don't think it gets over 500 million. Or if it does, it between 500 and 600 million. I think it tops out around there because there's no desire. Even the stands don't want this because they're sick. They're sick of the shit that they pandered for years.
They got what they asked for.
You got that. So there's no one left. So I don't know who's and the budget's likely to be $300 million at least on production alone. They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. So I hope that Pedro Pascal goes away eventually because I know some people say, "Oh, I like him in this, like him in that." I don't like him in anything I've ever seen. Nothing. I do not enjoy him. I find him to be a freaking wispy beta male wham piece of crap. Something else that is a bit of a wham or might be a wham or maybe a womp womp. The DCU, James Gunn's DCU, is literally about to kick off. We are less than a year away from Superman Legacy. If it's even still been called, is it still called Superman Legacy?
As far as I'm aware, I think it's still called that.
I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if they changed the name or not. But we are literally we are less than a year away from that. And I'll be honest, I am still not enthusiastic. That's a good word. I have no enthusiasm for it. But that's not the start of the DCU. The start of the DCU is something called Creature Commandos. Oh, so it's just called Superman now?
Is it? Okay.
Thank you, Jeff Fraser.
I think that's better.
Yeah,
Legacy,
that's better.
Yeah, I think Legacy has some negative connotations too. In this context, like that's what you do later in the franchise. Like if you want to call Kingdom Come Superman Legacy, that makes more sense. You don't start with Legacy.
So we got Creature Commandos, which has always been the starting point. We knew it when they announced the Gods and Monsters roadmap. This is start, and we now have the trailer. Jed, you've seen it?
I have.
Okay, Dragon Lady, have you seen it?
No, I haven't as far as I'm aware of, no.
Okay, I have not. So this is going to be my fresh reaction to this. And I am not excited for the DCU at all at this point. I think they're approaching it the wrong way. But let's see if this is anything. Here we go.
General Flagg, you found yourself in the middle of an international incident.
All right. Why can't they get Amanda Waller to look right? I mean, Amanda Waller is a chunky chick. She's built like a refrigerator. They keep making her thin and svelte and dude, right away. That's not Amanda Waller. At least not the Amanda Waller I grew up with.
It's the Amanda Waller from the Suicide Squad movies. And that's what I was saying earlier, that this is just going to be confusing to normies as the start of a new universe. This is 100% just the Suicide Squad movies, just rebranded. It's 100%. When you watch the trailer, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is just Suicide Squad with different people. Okay. And then these two are characters from both Suicide Squad movies, one played by the same freaking actress from the Suicide Squad movies. Yeah, that's the same Amanda Waller.
She's terrible in that.
That's the same one from both of those movies.
And to your point, sorry to interrupt you. To your point, they're making sure that all the voice actors can reprise roles in live action. That's
want to make sure they look the same. Yeah. And the guy on the left is Rick Flag, who was the main character of the Suicide Squad movies. So that's going to be confusing to people.
He wasn't. Until he wasn't.
Until he wasn't. And then Weasel is also in this trailer, and he was in the Suicide Squad. This is just going to be confusing. People or normies are going to go, I thought they were starting from scratch. This is just DCEU. What's going on?
All right, so let's start again because I interrupted her in her mid-speech there.
You found yourself in the middle of an international incident.
Oh, princess.
Now, I'm hearing that that's Circe. People are saying, I've heard people say that they saw Circe this, so I'm assuming that's it. Okay, so Circe is attacking somebody. Okay.
The United States is in the business of saving the damn world by any means necessary.
I will say this, the animation looks good.
It looks fine.
I have no problem with the animation.
Not as the flagship for a new universe.
Yeah, but I have no problem with the animation. So it's not I mean, Circe, they showed all her lady bits.
Okay. So, correction from Ruben. It's Rick Flag's father. So, but it still fits into the timeline. Like, I don't know how it's his father and the timeline difference with the same Amanda Waller that we see. That's just confusing.
Mm-hmm.
With the same, yeah.
I will say, at least the women look attractive. That's a plus. We're not getting uggos.
The United States is in the business of saving the damn world by any means necessary.
What in the holy hell?
Congress said we can't use human prisoners. These assholes aren't human.
Do you understand?
I'm pausing for transformative purposes. You're right. It has Suicide Squad vibes to it.
It's 100%. It's just we need a non-human Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And one of these guys is a metahuman, so he should still count, just like Suicide Squad. Most of these are aliens or robots or genetically created, but yeah, there's a metahuman.
Who is she? We call her the Bride.
I was born here.
Who's Jason and the Argonauts?
That's Dr. Phosphorus.
Why are you doing this?
You see, he's a metahuman, so he doesn't follow in that we can't use humans rule.
I guess. Honestly, I see him and I think of the villain from Batman Beyond. That's who I thought that was for a minute, but I can't because it's different, wrong time period.
It might be. I think it might be.
No. The villain from Batman Beyond, he's toxic and not toxic. I forget his name suddenly. It's been a while since I watched it. He's literally radioactive. That guy just looks like he's on fire or something like that. So
business. What is that thing?
The Weasel. We know it.
He had to get the fucking weasel in there, didn't he?
Yep.
He had to get the fucking weasel in there.
It has what it takes to survive. That's Nina Mazursky. Daddy? Last one is G.I. Robot.
Okay. Just pausing for transformative.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This is very clearly James Gunn. I am getting the most random characters you never heard of. Listen, this is why it's unfortunate that Drake couldn't join us for this, but I have never heard any of these characters.
Yeah, neither have I. But I do want to address the chat real quick. The metahuman loophole, that would make sense if they didn't already have the Suicide Squad. Like, just use the Suicide Squad then. And Jay Fraser, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that there's inhuman or non-human Suicide Squad team. It's the fact that we're following up James Gunn's Suicide Squad with James Gunn's The Creature Commandos. Like, it doesn't feel like there's diversity of content.
It's not creative.
It's not creative.
This
that's
doesn't
more.
feel creative to me is the thing. I think I'm right there with you. It doesn't feel like James Gunn is stretching his creative wings at all. And we know James Gunn can be creative.
Absolutely.
The guy, he's a good director. He's a decent writer. We know he puts shit together, but it feels like he just decided to redo what he's already done here. At least that's what I'm getting from this vibe. And I don't know these characters, and nothing I'm seeing at this point makes me interested.
Yeah.
Cheers to the Tin Man.
I know you all aren't exactly enthusiastic about this mission.
I didn't realize I had a choice.
You said
I'm hoping that music doesn't get us hit. No,
Yeah.
I just realized that. I guarantee they'll be thirsting over the bride. I guarantee that they're going to thirst over her. It's gonna happen.
Probably.
you wanted me to be a hero. Not like that.
With a joy that's hard to hide.
Until we find out the truth of what's going on here. We're supposed to be on the same damn team.
G.I.
Friend Nina.
Once again, just pausing it there. I have nothing really to say, so
I don't think this show looks bad. I think it looks far from that. But to have it be your flagship start of a new cinematic universe, like if this has come out 3 years ago under the DCU brand, I don't think anyone would have taken notice of it. It would not have drawn. I would just be like, oh, okay, new animated show, whatever. But it's the weight that's put on, I think, is the problem.
And that's the point. To me, you're starting the new DC cinematic media universe, whatever you want to call it. And this is not an attention grabber. This is not. You're only going to get the nichest of niche nerds sort of excited for this. And also it's on freaking Mac.
Yeah, we don't have HBO Max over here. I think we're supposed to be getting it next year. I think I read somewhere that we might be getting it next year, but we don't have Max over here. But stuff like that usually comes on Sky Atlantic. I think the Penguin's on that one.
Shish kebab.
Oh, I don't like that humor. And I just hurt my neck because it's stiff. That hurt. I can't move now.
Ugh. You're gonna thirst for her too.
Oh, they'll definitely thirst for her.
If The Shape of Water can win an Oscar, yeah, people don't.
Well, she's got boobs. Listen, she's got boobs and orifices. They'll be thirsting. And she's going to be the sweet one.
Yeah,
the sweet one. The other one's the
two qualifiers for thirsting.
The other one's
the holes.
Well, no, there's three. No, there's more. She boobs and holes, but she's the sweet one, and the other one is, and the bride is Dommy Mommy.
Okay,
she's gonna be Dommy Mommy for those people.
Don't be so hyperbolically violent. You need therapy.
Clayface. I'm going to ask the question. Why Clayface without Batman?
Why Clayface this early? Because this is taking place in the past.
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, because this is Rick Flag's dad. So
yeah, but
there's so much conflicting information on this.
This all looks modern to me.
There's conflicting information. It was originally talked about being in World War II. It's obviously not World War II.
No.
I've heard some say 80s, 90s. I think that one makes the most sense. But the comic run is based in the 60s and 70s. So like it's all over the place. But the consensus is this is not in the present day, even though Amanda Waller looks exactly the fucking same.
Yeah, and she's wearing current day clothes.
Yeah, there's no way this is World War II.
No, it's not. No, this is...
And there were the flashbacks to World War II in the trailer with G.I. Robot or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is definitely more in the present. I think 80s or 90s makes the most sense based on what we've seen.
Yeah.
Except for the Amanda Waller being ageless.
You wanted monsters. You got monsters.
I'm already annoyed by her. I'm already sick and annoyed by her. It's just her attitude is obnoxious. And I'm not saying it's women's. It's just obnoxious, and I don't like it. December 5th. Okay, wait.
Nazi. He's not a Nazi, GI.
Oh, okay.
All right. A lot of well-known.
Oh, do you recognize that third name?
Anya Charotra.
That's Yennefer from the Witcher TV show.
Oh, she's already in the news. You know she's in the news right now, right? For the Unknown 9 stuff.
The video game stuff is what I heard about.
Yeah.
I don't know any details about it.
Oh, we looked at it on Friday on Ballbusters. She gave some interviews, and it's rough.
What'd she say?
She's trying to talk about the game, but it's obvious she knows nothing about it. And here's the thing: we gave her credit; she wasn't lying in the game about her interviews because she wasn't doing the things you do when you're searching for a lie, like looking in a direction to access your brain. But I translate it as she's trying to explain the game, but she has no idea what she's talking about, which told me she went in, she read her lines, and that was it. She didn't really immerse herself in the character. She just got her paid this. And
that's what she did with The Witcher too.
And of course, in the game, they looks exactly like her. They can make her look exactly like she does in real life, but they have to not get any other actress right.
Well, because she's not that beautiful. I'm sorry, but she's not good casting for Yennefer. Yennefer should be drop dead gorgeous.
She had a nice body. I'll give her that. A nice body. I'll give her that.
She looked pretty good as the crippled Yennefer.
But all these voice actresses and actors, there's a lot of familiar names here. Sean Gunn is always going to be in something his brother does. Always. Alan Tudyk. And, of course, like you said, Viola Davis, because they're going to keep using her as Waller in the DCU. So
to start from scratch. Like, this is just going to confuse people.
Is there any more to this? Okay, no. So December 5th. I don't know. Should I cover this? I don't know.
Ruben X, when they announced it, they specifically said it was in the past. That was part of when the Gods and Monsters announcement. So if they change their mind afterwards, that's fine. But this, with it being Rip Flag's dad still involved, that doesn't make sense unless they're changing Rip Flag's story. But yeah, they've made it pretty clear, unless they change their mind, that it was in the past.
Yeah. And Alpha Omega for $5. Thank you, sir. Everyone excited for their government-approved, safe, horny Dami Mommy and creature from the Black Lagoon with Opie. Hey, listen, Opie is love, Opie is life. But in this sense, I'm not into monster girls. All right? My fetishes stop right there. Okay? I'm not into monster girls. And this, listen, the animation looks good. The quality of the voice acting sounds fine.
Yeah.
Okay? These are all professionals. These are all people who are good at what they do. We saw Alan Tudyk in there. These are guys who are all good at what they do, good at genre. A lot of them good at genre. It looks like the direction is fine and all that kind of stuff. My problem is the content.
Mm-hmm.
I am not excited about the content. It looks like it's quality. I just don't care about the story they're giving me here. Especially if this is supposed to start the DCU officially. When we are still, what are we now? November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. I think it's July is Superman. I think it's July. So if I'm right, we're 9 months away from Superman. And this and a couple other things are supposed to hold down the fort until we get what may be a Superman ensemble movie. Now, I heard some people they did talk about this a little bit on FNT. I heard it for a few minutes. I might have checked out and missed the rest of the conversation, but some are saying that it's might not be an ensemble movie, that the other people might only have bit parts in it. It's
we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's we're gonna have to wait and see. because we get this other bit of news, and thank you, Alpha Omega for the $5.
Did you see the profile picture?
Actually, no, I wasn't looking at the profile picture. I'll bring it back up. Sorry. Oh my, what is that from? I don't know what that's from.
That looks like OSHA to me with retarded.
That looks like a little Asian girl holding a bloody pig stuffed animal. That's what it looks like to me.
To me, it looked like OSHA from the Acolyte, just with the Downsy Photoshop.
Broken. You're broken. But we did get a Superman thing, which is an announcement this week, which some people have really gotten into, but I personally, this did nothing for me. They've announced Crypto. They showed James Gunn's breed of dog that he likes as Crypto, and people are saying that this is a nice, wholesome thing. They're sitting on the moon, watching Earth. That collar, man.
They're on the moon?
That's what people are saying.
That can't work then, scientifically speaking.
I don't know. That's what I assumed it was the moon.
I thought they were like sitting like on a spaceship.
That's a rock. That's a rock right there.
I didn't see the rock part. Then yeah, there's no way that this can make sense scientifically. I know that's just me. No one else gives a shit about that.
Unless they're sitting on an asteroid that's careening towards the Earth, and then why are you sitting on it and not destroying it, Superman?
Maybe.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah, Earth's way too big for it to be the moon.
I see this right here, and the first thing I see is the collar. That still bugs me from the suit design. New 52 collar. I don't like it. I just don't like it. But people felt that this was a nice, wholesome picture, and it is done a little bit to engender some positivity with the crowds. This does nothing for me. I could give two shits about freaking Crypto. The super dog. I don't care about Crypto. In my entire life, I have never cared about Crypto. I don't care about goddamn super animals or their pets. Yes, we all like Ace, Bat Hound. I don't care about animals. I want to know who the goddamn real villain is. Is it going to be stupid Bizarro or not? How much is it a Superman movie? How much is it an ensemble movie? That's what I want to know. Showing out Crypto to try and tweak my nerdy tendencies doesn't work because I'm already at this moment not sold in this movie because I don't trust James Gunn. The fact that and even though they were saying an FNT, to go back to what I was saying, that some are thinking that they might be sidelined quickly and they're only going to be in there for a few minutes. I don't think that. I think this is James Gunn and he has one gear only, ensemble cast. He doesn't know how to do a solo film. So if he's going to put all those people in there, I want to know, is it really a Superman movie? Is it a Superman working with other people movie? What do we got here? That's why I don't trust it. And now if I'm going to be proven wrong, I'll be proven wrong in 9 months. Okay. I'm ready to be proven wrong. But until we get a trailer, until we get nothing, I am not even... I have no positive feelings about this. I don't. Because the fact that this is not even the fact that this is the first project they're leading with, to me, it feels like James Gunn isn't really taking this all very seriously.
No.
That's the feeling I get.
I was more distracted by the dog than anything else. That photograph.
So
sorry.
I don't know what to expect from any of this, and this is a wait and see. I mean, James Gunn hasn't done anything to earn real ire when it comes to this stuff, but to me, he hasn't done enough to earn my trust. Because I don't like his roadmap hasn't given me confidence in their plan. It doesn't look like there's a story for this entire first chapter. It's just let's throw things out there. And I don't trust Batman, Brave and the Bold, because he's going right to Damian Wayne. The casting for the Green Lantern show, this does nothing for me. And there's still the rest of it. Wonder Woman without Wonder Woman, Themyscira, Game of Thrones, other shit. Booster Gold. if it really is that dude, I'm not into this. Not into this. Not into it. So, I mean, Jed, am I being too harsh?
No, I'm right there with you. Yeah, there aren't necessarily any massive red flags at this point, but there also isn't anything to entice me to look forward to this film because all the contradictions with the announcements, all the many people being added to this film where it's just drowning out Superman. You need to get it as simple as possible. That's what DC did wrong the first time with the DCEU, is going too big too soon. And then we don't have any emotional connection to this world or these characters, so it fell flat. Beyond just that Zack Snyder doesn't know how to write characters with any sort of depth, that was a big problem with it. So you can't go to Batman v Superman in the second film. You can't do that. Same thing with this, is you can't have the entire Justice League founded and old Batman with Damian Wayne when you're introducing Superman.
Yep.
They're just incongruent. So I'm very, very worried about this. I don't know if I'd call those red flags, but it's still... It feels scatterbrained, and James Gunn definitely doesn't seem like a very organized person.
No.
So scatterbrained, I think, is a very accurate description of what the behind the scenes look like. Is they just got out a bunch of lists of the characters, maybe cut out the names, put them in a bowl, and it's like, oh, okay, we're doing Creature Commandos first, everyone. Okay, we're I guess we're gonna do the Mascara, and it just feels so random.
That the thing with James Gunn is this, and I heard this said recently. I think it was FNT when they were talking about this, that James Gunn, and we know this part is true. I didn't need FNT tell me this part. James Gunn goes for the random out there shit because that's what he loves. He loves the obscure shit. But because it's obscure, and this is where I'm attributing to FNT, he can mess with it. Because nobody is seriously going to know the lore unless you're a hardcore nerd who's into that specific thing. So he messed with Guardians of the Galaxy. That was
100%.
not comic accurate at all, from what I understand. He is going to... Well, I'm sorry, let me phrase that. James Gunn, I don't think, cares about lore.
No, he's absolutely made that clear.
He doesn't care about lore. He cares about doing it his way. And that is why I don't trust his DCU. He's going to do it his way. Now, there is always room for interpretation and room for adaptation, because how many times have you had different people give their take on Superman in the comics, Batman in the comics? There's a lot of different artists and writers who do that stuff. That's fine. But there's still always a core aspect to all this stuff that remains true when the greats do it. And I don't think James Gunn cares about doing that, adhering to certain core aspects that all the greats remember to do. That's what I feel. And I'm ready to be proven wrong. But at this moment in time, I have no faith nor enthusiasm for this. I'm gonna review this shit, at the very least watch it so we can talk about it on stream. Because that would be I would not be doing my due diligence in that sense. I would be not providing everybody with the proper coverage if I didn't, because this is big. Superman is going to be big. That's going to suck up all the oxygen in the room when it drops. Creature Commandos not so much, and I did see.
No. Well, just to end the thoughts on this real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, you're 100% right. That was a great way to put it. Is he's very good with these obscure characters, making them relevant. Like Guardians of the Galaxy is one of Marvel's strongest brands now because of the work he did with it. He's great at bringing things from obscurity into success, but he's never adapted something and been accurate to it because he doesn't care. And like you said, he's always trying to make things his own. And there's a level of hubris to that. Like his decision, I like Damian Wayne, one of the most obscure Robins, so that's what we're going to do, even if it doesn't make sense. This is my favorite breed of dog, so that's what we're going to do for Crypto, even though that's not accurate. He's always doing these things where it's my favorite, so we're going to make it work because I like it, and I don't care if it doesn't make sense. And that's a level of hubris that I don't want to see in the Guardian of a cinematic universe or a universe of any kind, unless you created it yourself. You're coming into someone else's property, many people's properties, and just making this bizarre mismatch of things that can't work together just because you're taking little things that you liked from the comics and shoving them in a blender.
I'll think about it, Jay Fraser. I'll think about reviewing it because I will be doing Skeleton Crew at roughly the same time. So I'll look at it. When we get closer, I'll put a poll up, get everybody's opinion if you guys want me to touch it. Because listen, I want to review stuff, and I will also be reviewing Some of you may be wondering why, Adam. There's a Dune trailer this week. Why did you talk about it? Tomorrow night, guys. Tomorrow night, Mellow Mondays, we will be going over the Dune Prophecy trailer. Okay, so stay tuned for that one. And Alpha Omega, I feel like this is a question better suited for Anime Odyssey in 2 weeks. So I will make a note of this, and I'm going to pass it on to Dermy and with our guest Brandon, the anime guy. So I feel like you'll get a better answer from me on Anime Odyssey for this one. So tune in for that. I will make a note of that. Otherwise, yeah, I know you're talking about Creature Commandos, Jay Fraser. I know you were, and I'll consider it. I'll think about it. I won't throw it completely out there. I don't know if I'm interested enough to do it. Is the thing. And since I will be reviewing things in that moment, I won't necessarily be lacking content for reviewing stuff because because Dune Prophecy starts on November 15th and it will still likely be going on December 5th. And then of course, Skeleton Crew starts on December 3rd. So I will not be lacking for review content. So I'll think about it. We'll revisit that at the end of November. How about that? Let's revisit this at the end of November. And I'll do a litmus test poll. We'll see how it goes. If enough of you want me to give a take on it, then of course I will heed the wishes of the audience. We're talking about crypto. Fuck crypto. All right. So here we go. Quiet woman.
It's gonna be the next baby Yoda.
Don't be all girly on me right now. I don't need that. All right. So there you go. Wow, we made it. End of the show. We did it. We did it. Yay. We covered all the topics. Yay. Okay, so let me do one thing, Jed, while you are talking about what we're getting up to next week. I'm going to do one thing real quick. So go ahead, Jed. What got going on?
Okay, well, everyone can find me on YouTube and Kick at Hollywood Scholar, just regularly scheduled videos and live stream, ending with Saturday Night Drive-In this Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern, but Adam will get into that when he talks about his segment. But I did want to just briefly, in 2 seconds, mention the Doctor Who news because people expect that from me. Shooty Gatwa said there was going to be season 3 after a few days before. Russell T. Davies said, hey, we can't announce season 3 until after season 2 airs and there's bigger players involved. And then the Graham Norton show edited Shooty Gatwa's comments about season 3 to cut it out entirely.
Oh, they did. Oh, I missed that.
Yeah,
I missed that.
The Graham Norton show, they cut it out. The reference, they left the rest of his comments in, but specifically the season 3 stuff cut out entirely. And the BBC said, yeah, we're not renewing it yet. And there's actually insider reports that they don't like him, and Disney is very unhappy with the performance of season 1.
Oh,
so Disney might pull out for season 3. BBC might be able to pull it off on their own with the support of Sony, who owns Bad Wolf Productions, but Shooty might not be allowed to stay around because they don't like him. Those are the insiders.
He's terrible. He's terrible in the role to begin with. He sucks. But and we're gonna get another dose of it.
Punished.
And we're gonna get another dose of it in December.
A couple more weeks.
Special.
It's gonna be great, but I think he's legitimately in trouble because the BBC spokesperson said, "Yeah, that's not true. We're not going to announce it for a long time yet." I think behind the scenes he's getting beat by Russell T Davies, but he's really into it, so maybe he did it on purpose.
Ew. Dragon Lady, save us from
that. What
do you got going on?
At some point I should be posting my review for the Lion King, as in animated Lion King, proper 2D animated Lion King. Other than that, not much. I will be in next week, so
okay. All right.
Yeah,
if Jay was here, he would say check out Brutal Planet Comics. Check out the Brew Plays. Check out he usually does an interview beginning of the week and does some uploads of Pokemon battles midweek. So check that out on Dre's channel. And as for me, when we're done here, you're going to be redirected to my stream later tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Little Starship Trooper extermination. Me, Horny Alf, and maybe some other people. We're going to see if we put a little squad together tonight, do some action, some fun. Hey, only good bug is a dead bug. So we're going to play that tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can see it here on Horny Alf's channel too. Tomorrow, Mellow Mondays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, where, as I said, we're going to be going over the Dune Prophecy trailer. It is actually, Jed, it's actually connected to a book. They're actually basing it on a book.
I'm shocked.
I haven't read that book. but I will before the show premieres. So I will give you guys a direct thing. But we are going to go over the trailer tomorrow night. So join us for that and whatever the hell else we get up to over there. Rest of the week, catch as catch can. We'll see what the week brings us. Somehow something is always provided. Stay tuned for more gaming on this channel. Making a change. I'm trying to experiment, in these moments where, let's be honest, the election is sucking up all the oxygen in the room, trying to keep the channel going in some cases. We're going to do gaming on this channel again for a little bit, and then those results will be then re-uploaded onto Renaissance Nerd Arcade, which could be viewed at a later date. So check out gaming throughout the week on this channel for fun stuff like that. And as always, 11 p.m. Eastern on Friday, Ball Busters, where we will do retarded and gay shit over there. And then Jed, what do we got for driving next week?
Well, considering this is the year that Deadpool and Wolverine came out and brought back a classic Marvel character from the 90s, and it's Halloween season, and I've never seen this film before, we will be watching the original Wesley Snipes Blade film.
Yay!
Motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. Oh yes, that's going to be good. First two Blade movies are fantastic, so we're gonna have a good time next week, 6 p.m. Eastern, on my channel and on Jed's channel. And then we'll be right back here next Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I have no idea what we'll talk about next week at this point, but I'm sure something will make itself known. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us once again. We appreciate you. Without your support, we don't get to do this every week. So hit those like buttons, subscribe to these channels, and we'll see you next time. Till then, take it easy.